For daily ask Reddit, solicitors/lawyers, what's the worst case of you should have mentioned this sooner you've experienced? Spent several hours zealously arguing that my client was severely disabled and couldn't work due to a back injury. It was so bad that the poor dude couldn't even sit in a chair throughout the entire proceedings. Rest my case. Opposing counsel calls in a DEC representative who proceeds to produce record after record of my client's deer hunting activities. He sat in a tree, in freezing weather, for many hours, shot and killed multiple deer, and transported their carcasses out of the woods all on his own. SMH. Special ed case. School district was supposed to be providing services to the child in the home. Clients told us the school district had never sent anyone to provide the services. They hadn't heard from anyone in the district about scheduling, etc. Brought this up during a pre-hearing conference with judge and opposing counsel. After the conference, opposing counsel sends me pages of affidavits and documentation of all the times the school district employees went to the house and were refused entry by my clients for various reasons, or clients just didn't answer the door when they were clearly home. Clients had no explanation about why they lied to me. They fired us shortly after, and I was not sad. In-house attorney here, but I interned for a judge at our Court of Common Pleas during law school. There was a case of a guy that asked two early 20 girls a ride from the mall to a gas station. He told them he would pay them cash for the trip. During that trip, he sat in the back seat and had advised that he had a pellet gun that closely resembled a handgun. He said he had only pulled it out to show the girls, but never did anything further. That had been his testimony during all the proceedings. He willingly takes the stand and the prosecutor is questioning him about the gun and how he handled it. This dude willingly admits that he held it to the passenger's temple threatening to shoot her with what she believed to be a real gun. He also corrected the prosecutor during questioning, telling him that he never stated it wasn't a real handgun. That jury verdict came about as fast as one could. Client comes to me with his new wife, complaining that he's been sued by his ex-wife for failing to pay a $5,000 judgment to the ex as part of the divorce decree. Judge orders us to mediation. During mediation, ex-wife won't budge that she wants the full $5K. Client claims he doesn't have the ability to pay it. New wife, in an effort to get a loving husband free from the clutches of his evil ex, offers to give up her large diamond wedding ring to the evil ex. Ex can keep it, sell it, whatever, but client had previously told new wife it was worth more than $5K, so it should be enough. Ex-wife agrees to accept new wife's ring, subject to an appraisal. Maybe you can see where this is going. Get a call 2 weeks later from opposing counsel. Deal is off. Why? I ask. Turns out the ring was a CZ, worth about $95. When client met with me and I showed him the appraisal, he said, "Yeah, I knew that was going to happen." I stared at him slack-jawed and said, "You knew?" "Oh yeah, but what was I supposed to do? Tell my wife I got her a fake ring? How about telling her, "No my love, I gave you that ring, and it is a symbol of my love for you, and that horrible bitch will get it over my dead body. I'll find another way to pay her," I said. He looked at me and says, "Yeah, that would probably have worked." I had a client on a family matter. We were in court, and I was going on about how being a father was the most important thing in the world to him, and his ex pipes up and says "Well, he never sees his other children." I'm sorry, other children? That being said, many clients leave out embarrassing things until they get called out on them. Please tell your lawyers all the facts. We've literally heard everything and really don't care. Just let me prepare to explain that your weekend habits of cocaine and sex dungeons doesn't affect your ability to parent. A person involved in a motorcycle accident who sustained legitimate but not serious injuries. CCTV showed the incident. They were very much not at fault. They decided this was their big payday, claimed they could barely walk, had PTSD, serious back trouble, would never work again. The whole 9 yards. They neglected to tell their lawyer they had been I. Working a manual labor job. I. Riding motorcycles again. I. Did a bungee jump. All of which we caught on video / they documented via social media. They did not get the multi-million-pound settlement payment they expected and were pursued for fraud. It was a fun phone call after we sent the tape full of evidence. I was representing a man that was accused of sexually assaulting the young daughter of his girlfriend, who was married to another man. The key issue was whether or not my client's DNA profile should have been at the scene. Only skin cell tissue had been recovered, not seminal / bodily fluid DNA, and it was not an exact match, but rather a match to a profile that included him. A few weeks before trial he finally told me that the woman's other son was likely his. They had been having an affair for more than 5 years. The fact that the boy shared his DNA was a pivotal reason that the DNA profile would have been present. Edit. Grammar. A big issue was a language barrier as my client did not speak English, and we used an interpreter for all of our communications. Had a guy with a DUI. Asked about any criminal history. He said no. So I started the paperwork fraud for him. It's the first time offense program that seals the record and drops the charges once completed. Get to the courthouse, talk to the DA, find out the guy had another DUI a year prior. Also was on probation from the first one still. His excuse for not telling me was the first DUI was made up and he wasn't intoxicated, but pled guilty anyway. Unfortunately I ended up representing him for both bases. Did not get paid nearly enough for the shit I went through, but I did manage to keep him out of jail so he could take care of his elderly mother. Made him give up his vehicles though.